um, our country is being taken over from within. I am already a minority in my capital city, London. White people are a minority. By 2035, Muslim births outnumber births to all other religions in my country. And by 2050, I am a minority. We are a Muslim majority country. Now, you could say that doesn't matter, but our Muslim majority don't want to integrate into Britain. They want to build something isolated, unique, separate from our culture. I'm a minority in Birmingham, in Bradford, in Luton, in Leicester. I could list you the towns and cities. Increasingly, people feel like we don't belong. And increasingly, we feel like we're being forced out from within. And that power that sits in the hands of the Islamists is also political power. So our Labour Party, the left, will soon in my lifetime become the Islam Party, I believe.
So this is sort of like Britanistan, some kind of Britanistan being created.
That's exactly right. People talk about Londonistan.
Right.
Our Pakistani migrants here, they actually speak of Little Pakistan. And so there is a sense, increasingly Christian families like mine are looking eastwards towards Poland, towards Hungary, towards countries that have been more robust in their defense of the culture that we love.
So you might end up becoming minorities and refugees in your own country.
Absolutely. And I think that is most clearly indicated by our Jewish population, who are already being forced out and are leaving for Israel. And I believe that's what the white Christian community will move eastwards to Poland and Hungary. And that is why watching Modi and his brilliant and brave defiance to stand up and be proud of being a patriot and a nationalist really matters, because that's the parallel fight back that we need in my country as well.
Now, how would you address the issue of non-Muslims, Scottish, Irish, who also want to separate? Would you say that a white Christian England and a white Christian Scotland and a white Christian Ireland, or would you say it's better to have a white Christian United Kingdom?
I would have said I would always be somebody who was here for kind of Britannia. I think we're always stronger together. However, I think if you're realistic about the fact that I am a strong Brexiteer, I voted to leave the Union, I voted to leave the EU, I think it's hypocritical to do that and then say, well, Scotland can't want to decide its own destiny, or Ireland the same.
Yeah.
I do think the Union will eventually be broken apart because we no longer share those common values that we used to share. The strength of the Union is very weak right now, as you'll be able to see.
So do you think that short term Europe may break up, and then there may be different parts of Europe that want to be resisting Islam and come back together as a new kind of a Christian Europe, and then there may be two kinds of Europe: a Christian Europe and the non-Christian will be Islamized Europe. So there may be a Eurostan kind of a Europe and a Christian Europe.
I believe that's spot on. I believe that's precisely what will happen. By 2050, we're outnumbered and that flight will be on. I think there will be a reorganizing, a reshaping of Europe. There will be Islamic-controlled Europe that will extend from Turkey across nations that will fall to Islam. And I believe there will be a Christian base that will be Eastern European in nature. I think there will be flight from England to countries like Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, and those countries will stand together and become the new Christian Europe. But that division will happen. I think there will be a breakup.
So, such breakups and reorganizations generally require violence, and hence there would have to be a new crusades, because it's not going to be easy for both sides to accept boundaries. There will be a lot of contentious areas, a lot of turf battles. Who owns this territory? Who owns that town? Who owns this particular river? And so as a certain pole of Christian Europe consolidates and another pole of Muslim Europe consolidates, there'll be a lot of ground for fighting. And this means there would be a return of the Crusades. Do you think that's inevitable?
I think there will come a time that confrontation will happen. But I think what's really interesting, somebody spoke to me about this parable, about how it used to be that fantastic wine was grown in the United Kingdom, and America came over to take some of our vines and plant them in California so they could grow wine. And one time there was this massive blight, this winter blight, and all of their vines died. And they had to come back to the UK to take some more vines and replant their vineyards. And I believe what's going to happen actually now is that the same will happen in reverse. We will have to go to America to recapture our Christian culture and our Christian heritage and replant it across Europe. And I think that's the really interesting parallel, is that America and indeed India are going to be key to keeping the Christian culture alive.
So this takes me to a different issue. If Britain should be Christian, then should India be Hindu?
Then you get a yes from me, of course. And having watched what's happened in Kashmir and the way that our mainstream media have been entirely duplicitous about the truth, or what seems to be the truth in Kashmir, about the changes that Modi has managed to achieve for females, for minorities, that is not being represented in our mainstream media at all.
Now, let's shift from Britain to the India situation.
Yes.
The left in India is playing a very dirty game of bringing together not only Islamists, but also Christian evangelists. Now, this is something very important for Western Christians to understand, that while in the West they are fighting Islam, in India they are becoming aligned with Islam to fight Hinduism. So, and the glue is the left. So the Indian left has become kind of this anti-grand narrative, anti-nation, anti-Hinduism as a result of that. And therefore they're saying we will bring together all the forces that are against the country, and hence we will bring together all these minorities and so on. Now, this is sort of a very strange thing, because when I talk to Christians in the United States and UK, it's people like you I resonate with. And when I talk to Christians in India, they are so leftist and so much aligned with the Islam. Now, this contradiction needs to be resolved if we are to move forward and fight the really problematic forces worldwide. This problem has to be resolved, and I think we need a coalition of people who can see the big picture and who can say that the small little fights here and there have to be compromised for the sake of a bigger picture, for the sake of a bigger geopolitical future at stake. What do you think of that?
That is exactly a situation we have here. So we have, for example, leftist Jewish organizations who are siding with the Islamists, and they try and shut people like me down. The leftist Catholic organization will side with the Islamists. We have something called, perhaps you have it as well, interfaith, where they try and sell the idea that we're all the same, we're all on the same team, and people lap this up. So we have that same problem of certain faiths allying themselves with the Muslim and Muslim Council and the Islamists. And I don't know why they do it. Do they think it will save them? I don't know the answer.
We will make America great again.